I brought two animals for show and tell today. This one is a bowhead whale, very large animal, and lives up to 200 years. Amazing. This one, if you fly fish, you would know, is a mayfly. These are not to scale, by the way. This one's quite small. This particular mayfly, there are 600 varieties. This particular mayfly lives 5 minutes. 5 minutes once they emerge from the water. And the only thing they do is find a mate, copulate, lay eggs, and die. That's it. Very short agenda, short-term thinking, not much of a life. I guess if you had 10 minutes, you might find a bottle of wine and a good meal to go along with the mate. Why do I bring this up? I've had lots of conversations over the last 6 months with business leaders, and some of them are in the short-term camp, the mayfly camp, and they're focused solely on the short-term issues. And they're important issues. I just made a recent video about the challenges of labor and supply chain, for instance. But you've also got to be thinking about the long-term issues in your business, and that's the other camp. These two camps are driven in great measure by the ownership of their companies. If you find a family business or a closely held business that's more worried about legacy and purpose than they are about short-term wins, you'll find a group of individuals who are willing to make decisions that only have long-term payoffs. They'll forego short-term profits for the longevity of the organization, oftentimes for the happiness of their people and their customers. The other side of that coin might be what we would call the corporate raiders that you read about in the Wall Street Journal. Maximizing profits over as short a time frame as possible, don't really give a damn about the purpose of the company. My belief is we were all put on this earth to try and do some good things, and you all, as business people, have a wonderful good vehicle to do good things, but only if you can think long term. Let's explore this a little bit further. Come on over here for a second. If you're in a senior leadership position in your company, you have a very powerful tool at your disposal, and that is to set the agenda for the types of conversations that you have within the company, with your board, with your senior leadership team. Do you talk more at this point about investments, or are you really just talking about expenses? Do you think more about winning culture and have those conversations, or is it just about cutting payroll? Are you talking about delighting customers, or is it just quarterly profits that occupies your time? Are you thinking about real strategy? I mean, the stuff like where do we play, how do we win, what big things do we have to do to achieve that strategy? Or is it just about financial re-engineering? Let's move some numbers around and shuffle some boxes to try and hit our numbers. And lastly, are you thinking and talking and discussing as much about how you do your business as you are about the results you need to achieve? If not, think about how you can reorient your conversations to accomplish longer-term thinking along with the very necessary short-term thinking. But don't just be a mayfly. Have a great week.